Good afternoon. My name is Todd White. I'm the Director of the Canadian Radio Communications Information and Notification Service, more commonly identified by our bilingual acronym CRINS-CNRC. For those of you not familiar with CRINS, CRINS is a not-for-profit organization. It was a company formed in January 2012, and it is owned and operated on behalf of Canadian municipalities and provincial government agencies and government departments who participate in provincial heads of power: land use, public health, occupational health and safety, environment, and the practice of professional engineering. From that membership, CRINS has been given the mandate to receive, review, and provide expert advice to its members on applications for proposed radio communications facilities. As a part of that mandate, we oversee the public consultation which are invoked as part of evaluating these proposed sites, as well as educate the public on issues pertaining to radio communications in Canada. We also communicate with the proponents and Industry Canada on behalf of our members and the general public regarding areas where changes to proposals are required to comply with provincial or municipal requirements. As a result, our organization addresses over 100 public inquiries per day. A full one-third of these are directly related to EMF, health, and safety issues as they apply to radio communications facilities. And as a result, we have a first-hand view of this issue as seen through the eyes of the general public. So today, my comments to you can generally be considered under the category of the public's perception of risk. But I have two specific areas of concern that I'd like to address. First are concerns regarding the level of understanding and Safety Code 6 within the general public. And secondly, the use of Safety Code 6 as a public health policy. Not surprisingly, perhaps, the public is generally unaware of electromagnetic fields. And I'm just going to jump ahead here because I want to keep us on track. The general public is unaware of electromagnetic fields and the potential health implications. Most people do not know, for example, that smartphones do have Safety Code 6 limits in there. First of all, it provides an opportunity for misinformation, but it also provides a forum in which people cannot make informed decisions because they don't have the necessary information to take personal responsibility for their exposure levels. And one concern that we have is that in dealing with Safety Code 6 on a day-to-day basis, Safety Code 6 is not properly communicated to the public. And certainly what you're getting today in the various comments is the general public trying to understand. And it could be, Safety Code 6 could be excused for having this deficiency because it leads us to discuss how Safety Code 6 was originally designed. Safety Code 6 was designed initially as a discrete tool for the use of Industry Canada. It was designed specifically, as you will see here in the preface to Safety Code 6, to apply to individuals working at or visiting federally regulated sites. It's also used as the scientific basis for equipment certification by Industry Canada. Now, if you look at Safety Code 6 circa around 1987, you could have easily enumerated what were considered federally regulated sites. So basically where I was indicating Safety Code 6 was originally designed as a discrete tool for Industry Canada. But if you looked at where we were in 1987, you had a very small fledgling wireless industry and a number of fixed discrete federal government installations. Now, if you come to 2013, we have over 20 million wireless subscribers, an unbelievable number of 802.11 connected devices in the form of laptops, tablets, Wi-Fi enabled cell phones, even consumer electronics such as gaming systems which are given to children. So our submission is that this is no longer a discrete use of technology. It's actually, the wireless technology is not only prolific, it's actually ubiquitous. And I would suggest that at this point, we're no longer able to evaluate EMF in the context of an engineering problem or a localized health event, but rather this must be now considered in the full spectrum of a public health policy. And while it's necessary to establish basic restrictions, such as Safety Code 6, there is now a larger consideration towards how this technology is being used in the society. And many of the concerns that you're receiving today are based on the fact that Safety Code 6 was never designed as a public health policy, but the public is looking for it to be assessed and reviewed in that context. And so our suggestion is that perhaps the Royal Society will be evaluating Safety Code 6 proper, is that the decisions around EMF need to become a public policy debate. And one of the possible ways of that is migrating the evaluation of EMF from the Clinical Protection Branch and moving it towards an agency such as the Public Health Agency of Canada, which was formed to deal with public health issues on the wider context of the wider public health context, because the federal government does not operate in a bubble. And one of the things that we have learned in communicating with municipalities and some of the provincial agencies is that they are not part of this dialogue. This is between the Clinical Radiation Protection Branch, the Royal Society, Industry Canada. But there's not an active public policy debate around this. So it's probably because of this lack of public policy debate that you're receiving a lot of the comments you're receiving today. And one of the other aspects is that in a public policy debate, there would be a much stronger review of methodology. And if you want to use an example, if you look at Safety Code 6 2009 and compare it to the ISNR document from 2009, you have a very thin document from Safety Code 6, a very limited reference table versus 360 plus pages from ISNR. And when the public, knowing nothing else, look at these two documents, they say they get the feeling that Health Canada has not done a thorough analysis. There's been a thorough discussion of all the possibilities. So, in conclusion, what I would like to say is that certainly our organization, CRINS, is available to assist the Royal Society or Health Canada in moving forward this dialogue. But we believe that Safety Code 6 can no longer be just a discrete tool for Industry Canada. It needs resourced and local health perspective, which is a national discussion, not just a federal government department discussion, but involves the public health organizations within the provinces. And we believe that an organization such as the Public Health Agency of Canada, which is still under Health Canada, could be the conduit to begin that dialogue. So I thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer questions if that's of any help.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any questions here? Okay, thank you, Mr. Wright. Presentation.
Thank you.